Hello everyone, the 316 here with another DC Direct Page Punchers Mcfarlane review. This time I got the most recently released Shazam. This figure also has a platinum. I can't remember what that figure's called though. Like, it's not Shazam, it's like Captain something else. But retails for $24.99. I wanted to show it in box real quick. It's the fully plastic clamshell that you cannot actually open up. You do have to cut it, unfortunately. I'm not sure why they can't do the openable clamshell like the, 4-inch page punchers? No, 2.5-inch page punchers. Yeah, that's it, 2.5 inches. But it comes with the Dawn of DC Shazam comic here. Pretty, decent representation of that in figure form. But let's go ahead and open it. I always hate opening those page punchers boxes. You have the smaller page punchers with the clamshell that opens. Why can't they do that for the bigger figures? It'd make more sense for the bigger figure. Anyway, enough rambling aside on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. So, of course, he comes with a stand, which he's standing on. He also comes with a DC Direct themed card, not a DC Multiverse card. Basically the same thing. It just says Page Punchers here, DC Direct. And you still get the read-up and all the legalese down there, yada yada, mumbo jumbo. I do like the card art though. There's like a Godzilla looking creature back there. Beats me. Next up you get the Dawn of DC Shazam #1 here. This is similar, but it's not the same. Head sculpt, that's more classic, this is more modern. The logo's different. Everything else is pretty much the same though. And yeah, it's just a reprint of this particular comic, and I haven't had a chance to look through it, but it does have some advertisements for Mcfarlane there. There's the DC Direct Animated Series stuff, and I'm sure there's another ad or two in here, but again, I haven't looked through this. I'll give it a read when I have a chance. I still have to read all the other Page Punchers ones. But, nice to get a comic book with your action figure. I honestly don't mind it. He does come with 2 sets of hands. You can see he comes with the open flight style hands, and he also comes with 2 fists as well. I think the fists were on. No, these were on in the box. That's right. I haven't swapped the hands out, but if you want to see how the fists look on the body, I'll swap out this one. Oh, that didn't lock in. Interesting. But yeah, you can kind of see how that would look. I think that looks alright. I don't have any issues with it. And then there's the flight looking hand. The hands look a little bit big, but I think these wrist pauldrons kind of take away from the size of them. He also comes with what I thought was a necklace, but it's actually the like cuff thing that goes around his cape here. So if you kind of bend it in enough, you can try to show this on camera, loop it around both his head and the cape here. You might have to bend the cape a little bit. I'm having a little trouble here, but it is doable. It's just a pain in the ass. There we go. So you can put that on and then push it to the one side. That's what it's designed to do, and then you can reshape his cape however you like. But that gives a more like classic style of Shazam to him rather than a more modern one like the Dawn of DC comic shows. Shazam mostly is a reuse of the Earth 2 Superman body from the Crisis wave. Good choice. This is a good base body. I got practically no issues with it, and I'm glad they're reusing it here for Shazam. It makes perfect sense. Captain Marvel and Superman, they have a very similar physique, so having this on this body makes perfect sense. I like the colors on this figure. I'm going to turn down the brightness here just so you can see that a little bit better. And where did my background go? Oh well, my background's gone. I don't know where it went. That sucks. Oh well. But as you can see on my logo there is a little bit of a paint chip. There was like an extra glob of paint on it, and well, I just brushed it real quick and some of the paint came off. I have some white acrylic paint. I might try to fix that, but the white colors might not match. I mean, from a distance, it's not really that noticeable. Like, I can see it, but, like, if I told someone, there's Shazam, they'd be like, oh, cool, but they don't notice that right away. The interesting thing I found here is that these wrist bracers are in gold, but the rest is in yellow. On the Platinum Chase, these are in yellow, and he has the different logo, and it's a different character altogether. I think it's like Captain Lightning or something. I don't remember the Platinum's name, but we don't have the Platinum. Didn't want the Platinum, wanted this, which I really like this. I do wish that this was a hood. I kind of prefer Shazam with a hood. When I think of him, I think of Injustice, Gods Among Us. Good game. Good character design for Shazam. He does have a wired cape here, and it does have a triple wire, so it goes all the way down, curls around up into the body, but it doesn't actually go into the body. It actually stops. You can see where it pokes there, right there, and then on this side it stops in a similar place. So there, you know, you could probably fiddle around with the wire and maybe get it a bit closer in there, but because of that, it doesn't like sit fully. It kind of has some leeway. It can go left to right. But, you know, having this wired cape's pretty good. You can get it in any number of positions you want. You could do, you know, just some of this. And also, the neck piece here is also wired. I don't like that, though, because the gold trim here is very thick. It's similar to the cape, but, you know, that part should be a little bit thinner. I'm just nitpicking. I'm glad it has a wire in there so that you can get it in, you know, any position you want. You could have it wide. Yeah, you can have it popped, however you want to do it. I'll probably fiddle around with it till I find my preferred liking to it. I will say that the wire is thin. Just be careful over time. It might warp or get damaged. I do like the inclusion of this little accessory here, but it doesn't really sit flush against the neckline. It sits a little high. I have tried to move it into better positions, but it always kind of reverts back to that. I think that's just a case of where this piece is, the collar. It just, like, it looks good, but it's just, when I look at it on the comic here, you can see it's at the bottom of the neck, and, you know, I could paint his neck red, but then, you know, it wouldn't look right. And I think it's on here as well. You can kind of see what I mean. It's just at the top there, the base of the neck. You know, the logo's painted nice, and if I bend this back, you can see they painted it all the way up the midsection piece there. Oddly, this is the only piece that's in this color. I took a black light to it, and like all of this down here and the torso and the arms is the same color. This is like a darker red. It's noticeable to the naked eye and on the camera. More noticeable on the camera. It's definitely apparent there. Also, mine has a bit of a lazy torso. Like, it leans a little bit. I've kind of had to push him forward and then just have him rest. So, yeah, I don't have a Shazam that sits perfectly flush, which annoys me. That's just something that can happen with action figures. It's not you know, particular to this figure, but you see what I mean. Like, I push him here, he goes back. Don't think there's anything else to really show. Just kind of a, you know, decent looking base body. The boot cuffs are new. Don't know why there's a hair on that. This is new. I think the feet and the ankles are the same as the old figure. I also don't know if this gold piece bracer is an overlay or if it is molded onto that red part. It looks like an overlay. Let me get one of these. I'm not cutting it. I'm just putting the blunt end in to see if I can get it in there. Yes, so it does look like it is an overlay. So if you do want a base body that's like this, you can take the bracers off. I haven't done that. I will say one thing that does annoy me about the bracers is that the wrist pegs. Mcfarlane, please, just make some flesh tone wrist pegs. You can make the hands, the head, and this neck portion in flesh tone. Just make the wrists in flesh tone. Like, you did it for characters like Bane. Like, why can't you do it for here? Or make them gold, the same as the bracers. You know, make it less noticeable. Like, it's supposed to be all flush like that. Like, just make the wrist pegs flesh tone. Like, come on. I'm dying here, you know? They only really do it with the live action figures. It annoys me. I might as well go over articulation. Head can pivot. It can look up a little bit. It can look down a decent amount. And of course, ooh, got caught on something. It can go, 360. Not too bad. Can do a perfect T-pose and go just a little bit more. We can get some shoulder movement in there. Got some forearm or bicep twists. You got some double joint, pretty good. And of course you got the wrist peg there, but the bracer does get in the way a little bit. Before I continue with articulation, take a look at that head sculpt. I ain't liking those eyes, but this is supposed to be a more classic inspired version of Shazam. I just wish they were normal looking eyes. From a distance they're pretty good, but up close not really a fan of that. Wish they were more realistic looking. So you already see that this can, tilt from side to side in the torso diaphragm. There's barely any crunch. Crunch back is good, and it does swivel. You also got the same swivel at the base there, and that can also pivot to the sides like so. And then that has no crunch, basically, forward or back. It's very minimal. And then legs, let's see that spread. Spread's good, but the diaper gets in the way. He could get higher, but I choose not to. He does have a little bit of swivel. Ooh, this knee. Ooh, let's use the other one. That did not feel good. There we go. So the double joint on the knee's pretty damn good. He can almost kick his own ass. Both the cape and lack of articulation get in the way, but he almost can kick his own ass. And then, ooh. I will say one issue I have with this figure is the over extension of the joints here. You can kind of see what I mean with this knee. It should stop there, but I get an extra bends there. I do not like that. Same thing happens with this elbow. I can move it back a little bit further. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know if it's the type of plastic that they use or what, but I do not like that. And then, of course, you got boot, or rather ankle swivel. You got the hinge. You got that's the pivot. This is the hinge. And you got the toe bend. Honestly, I don't like toe bend in these figures. I just feel there's no need for them. Like, certain characters definitely need toe bend, like Spider-Man. And yes, I know that's Marvel Legends, but it's a valid point. Also, I think like characters like Batman Beyond, toe bend works well for them. But does Shazam need a toe bend? Like, I'm glad that there's articulation there, but does he really need it? Like, come on. Anyway, it's size comparison time. We're doing size comparisons a little bit differently now, but let's go ahead and see Shazam standing up fully here. Shazam stands at about 7.5, just a little bit more than 7.5 inches tall, and I thought he would fall, so I'm just going to cut it here. And here's Shazam with other various members of the Justice League here. This gives you a good general height scale next to the Blue Beetle Booster Gold body, and if I go across the line here, you can see he is definitely taller than Wonder Woman just by a little bit. Superman, Action Comics, Atomic Skull version. Trying to think there. And Nightfall Batman, just to give you an idea of scale between him and other various members of the Justice League. He's a similar height to Parallax Sinestro there, but that just gives you an idea of what he looks like next to the Justice League. Here's Shazam with the rest of the JSA. I was going to have him just standing there, but I saw the flight stand and couldn't help myself. But the colors really pop next to all the other members here. He has a more flat red color than, Citizen Steel over there. Or even Jay Garrick. His is more of an orange color. But there's what he looks like with the JSA on a flight stand. And finally, here's Shazam with all of our usual suspects. We got Build-A-Figure Atrocitus and the Gold Label Arkham City Batman, the Jazzwares Halo Spartan Yoroi from the Spartan Collection, our AEW Unrivaled Samoa Joe, and the Mattel WWE Elite 100 John Cena. 6-inch scale, we got the Marvel Legends Scarlet Spidey, Star Wars Black Series Retro Card Boba Fett, the G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Outback, Power Rangers Lightning Collection Dino Thunder Black, and the Jakks Pacific Sonic 3 movie figure. Really like this Shazam figure. He fits well with your Justice League or JSA. I think I might put him with my JSA, but for the time being, I am going to stick him on a flight stand in the back of my JS Justice League. I'll find some room for him, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this Shazam figure. Are you interested in getting the platinum? Also, let me know that in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.